This happened in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Let me tell you this crazy story. So I get called out to a customer's house because her heat was out. So the lady calls me and she says, house is really cold. She gives me the address, take everything down. I tell her it's going to be a dispatch fee, everything. She says she's totally fine with that. So I drive out to the property, ring the doorbell. The lady opens the door. I say, hey, I'm here to fix the heat. She just kind of says, okay. And so I go in and I'm troubleshooting the furnace. The house, I think it was about 40 degrees in the house. So I'm troubleshooting the furnace. I'm in there freezing and I find out what it is. There was a relay that was bad. So in order to make sure that I was right, I got the relay from my truck going and I swapped the relay out just to test it to make sure that if the unit runs that nothing else is going to be wrong. So swap the relay out, run the furnace, it's heating the house, it's doing really well. Everything else in the unit was fine. So I go to the homeowner, she was right there in the kitchen. So I go in and tell her, hey, good news, it's just a relay. I've tested it and everything. If you want to go forward with that repair, then it's going to be, and I think at the time it was about $200. And she said, okay, well, are you going to call my daughter and get the approval? And I said, oh, okay. Is your daughter the one that called? And she said, yes. So I said, oh, okay. So, because I initially thought it was the lady that called me. So I called the number to the person that called and I said, hey, ma'am, I'm here with your mother. And good news, it's only the relay and blah, blah, blah. And she says, no one is here at my house. And I said, what do you mean no one's at your house? She says, I've been waiting here for an hour and no one showed up. So then I verify the address with her. She says, no, you're 4 houses down. So I went to the wrong house. So I go back in the kitchen. I say, ma'am, this has been a misunderstanding. I went to the wrong house. And the lady says, so my daughter didn't call you or anything? I said, no, I just went to the wrong house. And so the lady starts to cry and she says, I just prayed this morning. I told the Lord that I don't have the money to fix my heat and my house is freezing. And I asked the Lord if he would send someone to fix my heat. So she prayed that morning. I got confused, went to the wrong house, changed the relay. It was already on there. And I realized that I was an answer to prayer and I'm not going to argue with that. So I said, ma'am, it's on the house. It's completely free. Left her with a nice warm house, went 4 houses down, fixed that furnace. And that is one of the most amazing, craziest stories in Fayetteville since we've been running our air conditioning business the last 22 years.